Welcome everybody to World of Tanks Replays. My name is Maxwell and today's first replay is from the user 2012 player. That is 2012 player, and he's driving the M4A3E8 Sherman, otherwise known as the Easy 8 or just the E8 Sherman. This thing is a tier 6 medium tank for the Americans. This is actually the one that is modelled on, or the other way around, the Fury. So if you are interested in getting the Fury tank, then it's going to play a hell of a lot like this tank, exactly the same chassis. I'm pretty sure it gets the same cannon as well, although I could be wrong on that. Somebody can correct me in the comments if that isn't the case, but I'm pretty sure it's going to tote the same cannon as the Fury version of this. The only difference obviously is the Fury has a lot of visual upgrades. It is a stunning looking tank, very beautiful, and ties in with the movie. So straight away, 2012 player, or from now on I think I'll just call him player, is going to be heading all the way along the northern line, the AB line. Gets here reasonably early, going to see if he can spot anybody out making a move on the enemy team. Nobody just yet, so just pops himself back, doesn't want to take any unnecessary damage in case he's been spotted. Looks like his sixth sense, if he does indeed have it, hasn't kicked in yet. Spots a T-34, has a quick shot there, but that unfortunately just misses. Going to try and track him through the train cars, but it looks like he is content to just stop behind the building there. Going to have a quick look to see if there's anybody else coming up to offer him support. Doesn't look like it, so he's going to move up with his ally in the T-14. T-14 just deciding to go ham across the tracks and going to drive straight towards the enemy. So player going to get into a elevator position in order to offer him some fire support. You can see now the T-14 is under fire from that T-34, returning fire as well. 2012 player is into a good position now, spots out a Matilda in the back there, has got the gun depression and the penetration to be able to take him out. This T-14 is taking considerable fire from 3 different sources now. Going to decide to switch his attention to this T-34, because if he gets around behind the T-14, the armor's going to count for nothing, not that it's particularly well armoured. Now going to move his attention up to that Matilda that he's consistently putting damage through now. Unfortunately, that one just bounced. Does take a hit from the Churchill Mark III and has to back off as the T-14 falls to the combined firepower of 3 enemy tanks. Not really sure what he thought was going to happen there, but still able to duel very nicely with the Churchill 3. As you can see, he has a 2.84 second reload, which is just under 3 seconds. Churchill Mark III with a rammer does have a sub 2 second reload, but doesn't have very good armor penetration. Off the top of my head, I'm not sure of the armor of the Easy 8. I think it's around between the 40 to 60 range, which means that the Churchill Mark III should be able to penetrate, although the front of that armor is nicely sloped. So if you just keep your front angled nicely towards the Churchill 3, you will find it difficult to penetrate. Gets 2 good hits on the Matilda to take him out and pick up kill number 2. Going to turn his attention to this Churchill Mark III now. Going to put shots into his turret, as the armor of the turret isn't particularly strong. And that is kill number 3. Going to move on down the 1 line now towards the enemy base. It looks like this is the majority of the guys that went this flank have now been dealt with. As you can see, most of the enemy team have elected to go to that right-hand side. You can count a good chunk of enemy tanks there, which means 2012 player, rather than going for the base capture, which the Panzer III and the Chi-He look like they are going to do, he's going to transition across and try and flank around the sides and the rear of these tanks, taking a bit of a long way around, but that's just in case somebody is lingering around the base there, and will be able to put some shots into the side or rear of him as he tries to surprise the enemy tanks. Doesn't want to take any unnecessary damage. Gonna move across there. Su-85B lights up on his map. He stops and drives back a little bit. Just gonna stick some shots into his rear. Looks like the Su-85B has been caught way out in the open. There's no way he's getting into cover, and that's kill number 4. Looked like he was heading back to do some base defense, but just getting caught out in the open there, and he is in trouble and gone. So going to be flanking around the rear now. Going to drop down to the next road. It's got a T-28 and Su-85 up the top, but it looks like the heavies down at the bottom may prove to be more of a threat. Base cap progressing nicely, although an Su-100 has come back to stop that. Su-100 has a pretty ridiculous cannon, so he might be able to make short work of those mediums. has one shot at that KV-1, but decides to switch to the T-150 as that's the more dangerous target. Takes him out quickly, gets a good shot through the side of the KV-1. KV-1 only traverses his turret, doesn't put his front armor on target, and he pays the price and gets taken out. Now there is a Hellcat. Got to be careful, because last he saw the Hellcat, he was pointed in this direction. And the Hellcat is fast off the mark, not particularly manoeuvrable. Artillery shells raining in now, so he knows he's been spotted and the enemy team knows where he is, so he decides that he's going to have to make a move. Hellcat rushes his shot and misses. Got to wait for that reload now as he comes in and decides to use the Hellcat's traverse against him. He knows the Hellcat has a terrible turret traverse, gets all the way behind him, takes him out without taking any damage in return. Now he's going to focus on this Su-85. Su-85 didn't pull the trigger quick enough and he gets taken out. Artillery shells still raining in, and that was kill number 8. Now he has to look towards this T-34-85 that has a decent hit point pool, but is he going to be able to out-duel the Easy 8? Looks like he is not particularly good at firing, still looking in the wrong direction. That could just be some server lag. Gets 4 or 5 great hits in the T-34-85, takes him out, and there's just a T-28 left up this hill. T-28 is going to be no match whatsoever for a Easy 8 Sherman. As you see, bounces a shot on his side armor. He turns his front armor onto target. One more hit. Kill number 10 takes out the T-28. And that just leaves the Su-100 and the artillery left on the enemy team. Having a quick little look there to see if you can see the Su-100. Looks like he is behind cover. And we're just going to speed this one up a little bit because the artillery has now been taken out. And that just leaves the Su-100 in the base. Going to be making a slow approach towards the base. Doesn't want to take any surprise damage. If this Su-100 can catch him off guard and get the first shot in, that's going to be curtains for 2012 player. As the Su-100 does have that 122mm cannon that is able to do a crazy amount of damage with a decent amount of penetration. It'll sail right through the Sherman's armor and take him out of this battle. Moving slowly, using the houses as cover, waiting for the Matilda to advance up as well. Looks like the Grill is taking up a position and pre-aiming on the base. And like I said, I think he thinks that the Su-100 is going to be somewhere in this area, using the houses as cover, playing it very careful. Still waiting for the Matilda, although the Matilda is very, very slow. We've still got 6.5 minutes on the clock. Finds the Su-100, he's hiding in the bush behind the cap circle, has a shot, only scores a critical. And now they play the waiting game. If he can wait out the Su-100 until the Matilda arrives, they're going to be able to come at him from 2 different directions, and then that will be all she wrote for the Su-100. Artillery shells rain in. I think the Su-100's probably going to have to make a move now, as he knows this Matilda's going to be closing in from one side and the artillery's already landing. He can't really stay in the same position. 2012 player just thinking about having a look to that right hand side in case the Su-100 had advanced along that line. But it looks like he may still stubbornly be refusing to leave his corner. He thinks that he's maybe ducked to the right-hand side. Got to be careful, though, because like I said, if this Su-100 catches him off guard, he's going to be able to end his game. And what a game it's been so far. He's been spotted, which means the Su-100 still in this area somewhere. Takes out the building. There's the Su-100. He's finally making a move out of the bush. Got to advance forward. Off the mark. This tank isn't the fastest. Gets one great shot through the side of the Su-100. Now he's got the building as cover. If the Su-100 is firing AP shells and may be able to go through the building, takes out the building, and that's going to be all she wrote. There's no way he's going to reload in time. 2012 player picks up the final kill for 11 total kills. 3 and a bit thousand points of damage, and an absolutely awesome game played there, showing off his skills in the Easy 8 Sherman, wreaking havoc on the enemy, transitioning from the one flank on the left hand side to come around behind and to the side of the enemy, catch them all off guard and pick up a whole ton of damage and kills. So awesome replay there from 2012 player. Thank you very much for sending that one in. Don't forget to stick around, because as always there is another game coming right up. And our second replay today is from the user Rubric. That is Rubric, and he's driving the ARL 44 on a standard battle on Ensk. ARL 44 being a tier 6 heavy tank for the French, sticking with the tier 6 theme today. This tank is a little bit different to the standard heavy tanks that you get sort of further along the line for the French. Obviously this one doesn't have an auto loader, but then none of the lower tiered ones do. It's a little bit of an unusual shape, has pretty nice sloping on the front of the tank there, as you can see. Pretty beefy turret, and it comes with a decent cannon as well. And this thing plays like any other tier 6 heavy that can just bully people around. Finds a Churchill 1, has a shot at him, unfortunately ricochets. That was a little bit unusual and unexpected. Not going to bother to side scrape, as he does have those ridiculously large tracks, and side scraping this tank isn't very effective, but he is able to get a shot through the front of the Churchill 1. Churchill 1 hasn't got the, finally does have the penetration to get a hit back in return. But the Churchill 1's not going to have the best of this exchange, although Rubric doesn't want to take damage for free that he could avoid. KV-85 comes up as well. He has his shot and fluffs it. Now it's up to Rubric to come further forward. Takes more damage from that Churchill 1, but the Churchill 1 gets taken out, and that's a quick kill number 1. And advance forward now. There are some tanks making their way down the train lines here. SU-100 saw that he fired, so he's going to pop himself out and have a nice shot on the SU-100. Gets straight through his armor for a kill number 2. And the enemy team is concentrating their forces on the center and that right-hand side, which means the guys on this left-hand side are going to have to push through fairly quickly. The Allied team looks like they're concentrating their forces on camping. KV-85 takes out the Wolverine. Rubric going to come forward, finds the enemy KV-85, doesn't want to have a snapshot at him just in case, going to set himself up to do a little spot of side scrape, and as you can see he's got to do it at a really sharp angle because of those huge tracks of this tank, so not getting much luck out of this one. Finds a Panzer, gets a great shot at him, but takes some damage in return. Luckily it's not loads of damage, and he's able just to weather that one. Going to sit here and wait, going to try and get a shot on him as he comes back around the corner, which indeed he does. Bounces a shot from that KV-85 and picks up kill number 3. He's going to advance forward, see if he can get a hit on that KV-85, although an AT-8 pops himself around the corner, gets a fantastic shot through the weak spot of the AT-8, but now he's not going to be able to stand and duel with these two guys with only 250 hit points left. Doesn't want to stand and duel with an AT-8 and a KV-85, so he's going to leave his allied KV-85 to hold their attention while he tries to sneak around the side here. Luckily, I think the allied KV-85 reads the situation. He stays put, like I said, to hold the attention. Enemy team battling well on that right-hand side and in the center. Rubric gets himself around the corner just a little bit further up, and he should be able to get some damage through the side of that AT-8 or the rear of the KV-85. Elects to go for the AT-8 as that thing pointed forwards is the most dangerous tank. ELC AMX comes flying around the corner. He seemed to distract the KV-85 momentarily, and he fluffed his shot, only able to put it through the tracks. Got a 7.5 second reload, so he's probably not going to reload quicker than the KV-85. Unfortunately, KV-85 wasn't able to get any more damage onto Rubric. He takes him out for kill number 4. And everybody is falling fast and furious. The rest of the Allied team look like they're going for the base capture, but the enemy is also doing the same thing. There's a couple of tanks tracking back, the A44 and that T37. Looks like the rest of them are going for this base capture, and we're just going to speed this one up until we get back into the action. You can see Rubric heading back now. He's going to try and do something about this base cap. Find a KV-1. He's probably out of the cap circle, but if he can get a quick shot onto him, that'll be some nice damage. He's still got a minute and a half on the capture clock, so he's got plenty of time. Has a shot. And that one unfortunately ricocheted because KV-1 very strong armor. Now he's going to try and pick out this VK3601. Doesn't look like he can see much or any of him as he gets behind a building. So he's going to have to advance much further forward now. VK3601 has a shot, but that one just bounces right off the side armor as he takes damage from that KV-85. Only a Hellcat left for the allies in the enemy base, and that A44 looks like he's trying to get around the side of him using his turret traverse against him, more than likely, like we saw in the first match. Gets a shot into the side of the VK3601. Unfortunately, it didn't penetrate, but the 3601 isn't having much luck with the front armor of the ARL either. Gets a lovely shot on the VK there, and he's just got to keep himself angled, which indeed he does. VK bounces his next shot. One more hit should be enough. Takes him out for kill number 5. Unfortunately, the A44 is also taken out the Hellcat, which leaves the KV-85 and the ARL to try and hunt down this A44. Thinking he's probably going to make a move, probably down the 5 line. KV-85 heading up through the train track. Spots him across the way there. Going to let his gun focus in just enough. Has his shot. They kill each other. And if they'd been the last 2 tanks, that would have been GG and what an ending. But as it is, the KV-85 is the sole survivor as the A44 and the ARL 44 eliminate each other with their shells at the end. So awesome replay there from Rubric, picking himself up 6 kills, almost 3,000 points of damage, and being a great asset to his team there. So thanks very much for sending that replay in. Don't forget, guys, if you've got yourself a great replay, send that into replay@screenreality.com. The link for that's in the description. Just attach the replay file itself or the link to the What Replay website to the email, and I can check that one out for you. And don't forget, if you enjoyed this video, you found it useful, informative, you liked it, or you learned something, think about hitting that subscribe button, because there's a lot more World of Tanks content on this channel. I've been Maxwell, this has been World of Tanks Replays, and I will catch you guys next time.